Hello and welcome back to another review. I'm here today to talk to you about new Aussie musical comedy, The Deb. It is actor, writer, now director, Rebel Wilson's first film directing. She also acts in the movie as well, and whew, there's a lot to talk about. Okay, so The Deb is an Australian musical comedy. It is set some in Sydney and some in the outback, about two girls, Maeve, who is a Sydney private school girl, well off, well-to-do. Think Abby Chatfield as a teenager, right? She gets involved in a scandal at school and gets shipped off to her cousin's house in the country. Together they both have to... So she then gets shipped off to her cousin Taylor's house, who lives in the outback town of Dunburn. Basically it's this drought-stricken town that's about to have their annual debutante ball, where the girls of the town come out to society with male accompaniances. It's that kind of like old school tradition that apparently is still a thing. Who knew? So Shane Jacobson plays the mayor of the town, Taylor's dad, and you know, we're used to seeing him in really comedic roles, and he does have a little chance to be funny here through a Gen Z TikTok dance that is very, very funny. However, he really is the heart of the film and keeps everything central and at the center, and it actually finally really works, and I really love that he really got into this drama side of the film. As for the girls themselves, they are fantastic. As you know, the yin and yang, one city, one country. You know, Taylor just wants to be loved. She wants to find a boy, and just wants to go to the Deb and be basically what Maeve is. Maeve, you know, typically in this kind of movie, you know, would hate Taylor and be in competition with her and try and bring her down. And I really like that instead of doing that, they teamed up and, you know, worked together to get Taylor a date and get her ready for the Deb, even though Maeve didn't agree with it. Now, Maeve does have an agenda. She is making a podcast about the town, the people, and the Deb. And, you know, it starts off as a bit of a, you know, classic takedown, and then as she gets to know more about the people in the town, she then changes it a little bit. I'm sure you can guess what happens, but look, it is such a well-constructed film. It's been a long time since we've had something like this. I'm going to say since The Sapphires, which is probably 10 years now. And prior to that we had, you know, Strictly Ballroom, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, Muriel's Wedding. This is definitely in that style, but for a new generation. Now, as I said before, Rebel Wilson is in this herself. She plays Jeanette, who owns the town beauty salon. It is called Curl Up and Die, which is probably my favorite name for a beauty salon ever. And she is just as fantastic on screen as she is off. Her daughter and a couple of their friends have they're the local town entertainment. They're called the Pixie Cups. They used to be the Dixie Cups. It's a very, very fun play on Dixie Chicks. And their songs are really, really good in the film. Their performances are great, as is Rebel's. She just, you know, dives so deep into every character that she portrays, and she does such a beautiful job here. I would be remiss as well if I didn't mention that Julian McMahon is in this film, and it is his final performance that we will see on screen. He plays the Prime Minister, and it is very, very funny. He's not in it for too long, but it's just enough to make an impact, and I really appreciated everything he had to offer here. So look, is this going to be, you know, something for everyone? I'm going to say no. Because if you don't like musicals, then you won't like this. I actually did an interview with Rebel earlier in the week. You can check that out over at Joy. I do a show on the radio called Outtakes. You can check it out there in full. And the people that did the songs for K-pop Demon Hunters also did the songs for the Deb. So there are earworms that will get in your head and you're unable to get them out. I'm thinking Wildfire is probably the one that I'm still singing and like really wanting the soundtrack for. And the first song called F My Life will be a TikTok reel any second now. Edit. I didn't mean to say TikTok reel. Will be a TikTok template any minute now. I'm not going to edit it out. That was funny. It's so millennial. So look, if you love Mean Girls, if you love musicals, Muriel's Wedding, Priscilla, this is going to be right up your alley. It also looks absolutely gorgeous. The cinematography is perfect. It was filmed, I think they said about 2.5, 3 hours out of Sydney, in this gorgeous, gorgeous town that was completely transformed for the filming of this. So look, if you love that kind of thing, you are going to love this. It is playing right now in cinemas just in Australia. We are hoping for an international release. And as soon as I have details on that, I will let you know. But that is The Deb. It is Rebel Wilson's first directorial debut. And honestly, I could not think of a better, more fitting film for this. Check it out in cinemas now.